Hey, welcome back to Corrective Movement Therapy. Today we're going to be talking about the differences between being Coxa Valga and Coxa Vara and having a normal angle, which is the relationship between the head, neck, and shaft of your femur. Now, you may ask, what does that have to do with anything when it comes to in terms of exercising and performing lower body squats? It has almost everything to do with it. When you come and you talk, when you're talking about the difference between the angle of the head of the femur and the shaft and the neck, the bigger the angle could indicate the wider the stance may need to be, or the smaller the angle may indicate that the person should have their feet a little more in. Now, you can't go in, you can't just look at someone and say, oh, you're Coxa Valga, you're Coxa Vara. You'll learn as you go just by how the person moves. But to get a little more insight on what Coxa Valga and Coxa Vara is to have a normal relationship and a normal angle between the neck and the femur. It should be about 120 degrees to 135 degrees, which is the relationship between the head to the shaft, the neck being where the angle of the elongation is to cause the angle. If you want a better picture than just my words, if you just look here, because I can't draw a diagram, this would be your normal angle right here with the 130 degrees between the head to the shaft. And then Coxa Vara being a little bit smaller, the angle is decreased. Coxa Valga, 135 degrees or more. So when you put that in terms of doing a squat or doing an exercise, you may think someone that's Coxa Valga having a wider hip range, such as females. Females have wider hips due to pregnancy and giving birth. You may have a smaller stance. Like for example, my stance is here. I can come right down, simple squat, and I'm here. My feet are pretty thin, they're pretty narrow. I don't have a wide stance. Whereas someone that's Coxa Valga will be out here. Now, how you diagnose the difference between how someone's squat should look is you'll notice when you put someone in a squat for the first time that their feet, their knees will be caving in, their weight will be going over their toes, and you'll be giving all them instructions. They could have the range of motion, they could have the strength, and they're still just not getting it. But yet every time you widen their feet, they perform a great squat. But you want to try to make them in. You can't force someone that has more Coxa Valga than you are, that has a greater angle, to be in. Now their toes should be forward, their weight should be on their heels, their butt should be back, their back should be flat. All those are still hold true, but just because someone has a wider stance doesn't necessarily mean it's wrong. It just means that's right for that person. Where I get the saying that there's not one squat that fits every single person. I have a friend that's shorter than me, just as in shape, but he's shorter, and he would look like he has a very narrow stance, but yet the only time he feels comfortable and can get a good position in the bottom of the squat is when his feet are much wider than mine. And when you look at the angles, this holds true. So with that being said, there's not just one squat. There's not one position in terms of how wide your feet should be set when you're coming down to the bottom of the squat that's right for everybody. This has been Corrective Movement Therapy. Catch you next time.